Northern Cali born and raised, real shark about that tank. We go hard up in the paint and spin them blocks, they said we can't. Talking all that tough shit, don't end up in a casket. Glock up on my hip, be the only thing that's plastic. Hit him in the belly, guarantee that boy gon' fall. It don't matter who you body, you still a ratchet.
What's cracking with the gente on YouTube, man? Thank you guys for tapping back in, showing love, showing support, all that good stuff. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down under, subscribe if you haven't already. And as you guys can see through the title and the thumbnail, man, today the streets are hot, bro. The streets are hot, man. So yesterday, an incident happened in San Jose where lines were crossed. I'm going to say lines were crossed. And I know that's been a saying throughout the whole day yesterday. And today I seen lines were crossed, you know. And I have people that are justifying it. And I also have other dudes that I'm not even going to disrespect here and start, you know what I'm saying, talking about certain, because there was certain dudes from that side, you know, Northerners that tapped in and were like, hey, bro, we don't get down like that. Like, that's not cool. And I'm talking about young fools, too. You know, usually it's the young fools that are, you know, that are hotheads, that are, you know, that are like, oh, well, it is what it is. You know, I got a lot of them. I got a lot of the, you know what I'm saying? I got messages. Some dude was like, oh, well, they should have got on his mom, too, and whoop-de-whoop, and this and that, and this and family members and homies and dead people. And it was crazy, man. Yesterday, I had every net banger in San Jose in my DMs. It was insane. But, so, like I said, lines were crossed. And a big respect to the Northerners that tapped in and were like, hey, bro, we don't get down like that. Like, we don't condone that. You know what I'm saying? Like, from the older dudes that tapped in to the young fools that tapped in, they were like, nah, that's not cool. You know what I mean? Because karma's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? And if you touch somebody with their family around, you know, it can happen to you too. And it can happen worse. So just be mindful of that. So, as of yesterday, I'm not going to say what neighborhoods were involved. I'm not going to say who was involved. I'm not going to say any of that. I'm just going to say there's a famous store in San Jose. If you're familiar with it, if you're familiar with San Jose, you're probably familiar with San Jose Blue Jeans. It's a story. It's a store on Story and White in a Norteño area, heavily populated Norteño area. It's where I grew up at. So Blue Jeans was always a hot spot for Surenos. If you're a homie and you go to Blue Jeans, you kind of expect something to happen. You know, that was my store though growing up. I used to go to there was a store back then called Gen X, which was on the other side. But then Gen X closed down, so then everybody was kind of forced to go to Blue Jeans. So apparently, you know, one of the homies, a young homie, you know, he's small too. You could tell he needs to put on some weight, you know, but he's a younger homie. I don't know if he was done shopping. I don't know if he was barely going in to go shopping. Point is, he was with his family, his mom. He was with his mom. And some Northerners decided to get on him. They took off on him in front of his mom, which is why I say lines were crossed. You don't, like I said with the whole bands and lefty thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't mention moms, you don't disrespect moms, you don't, you know what I'm saying? But to touch your enemies in front of their families is crazy. And I remember growing up, I used to hear that all the time. Oh, Sureños do that. Like, Norteños don't get down like that. Sureños are the ones that, and it's like, no, my uncles have told me stories of dudes, you know what I'm saying, walking with their ladies and their kids and whatnot, and they still got off on them because, you know, not my uncles, I'm saying, but, you know, their homies are locked up for doing certain things like that. Does it happen both ways? Of course. Of course it happens. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's the Norteños that are grimy. They're the only ones that do it. No, everybody does it, but it's been a long time since I've heard of anything like that happening in San Jose. It actually happened to me when I was younger at Kohl's on McKee. McKee and Jackson. There was a Kohl's right there. I was gonna buy some 501s and some dudes pulled out a, you know what I'm saying, a blade on me in front of my mom's. My mom started crying and whatnot. Nothing ended up happening, but like I said, you know, it happens. Just it's not common. So when it happened yesterday, obviously, you know, the homies were feeling a way about it, you know, and which came all the Instagram posts. I saw, well, I didn't see. I got sent some videos where, you know, the homies double back basically. So there was homies that, you know, ended up sliding back to that neighborhood, which I'll insert the clips. I'm going to have to either cut some clips shorter and I'm going to have to mute some because there's a lot of cussing. I'm going to have to, there's certain things that I got to do to these videos so that I'm able to play them on YouTube. And if they're not in the video when I upload this, it's probably because YouTube didn't allow it. So here's the clip of the aftermath of the homie, you know what I mean, basically getting paws put on him at Blue Jeans. Alright, so I have to do a voiceover, obviously, because the dude who was recording the video was, you know what I'm saying, cussing a little too much, so I know YouTube is not going to allow it. So it doesn't show anything crazy, it just shows the aftermath, you know, the homie on the floor, his mom over him, obviously, you know, stressed out about it because her son just got put hands on in front of her, which, again, should not happen. Usually, it's an unspoken rule, you know, if family's around, you get the pass, for the most part. Now, when I say lines were crossed, uh, I feel like most people agree. The only ones that don't are the dudes on that side. You know, the Northerners that are like, oh, well, F that dude and F his mom too. Like, I've been getting that DM a bunch of times. I've been getting DM'd like crazy, like I said, just net bangers on top of net bangers on top of net bangers. Talking about pick this guy up and pick that guy up and this and this and that and whatever. And I'm having fun with it. I'm not going to lie. I'll reply back and, you know what I'm saying, say a little something, something too. But, you know, so, like I said, there's a certain code, there's a G code that was not stuck to, which is why on my Instagram when I posted the videos, if you want to see most of the videos like without being cut or nothing, they're on my Instagram. It's called Upstate POV. You'll see them there on my story. I don't know how long, but they'll be there for a while, at least until the 24 hours are up. So I put a story up that said the homie said since staying sticking to the code, there's no code to stick to. And what I mean by that is the homies ended up going back to that certain neighborhood of the person was yelling a certain neighborhood. The homies doubled back and it was pretty fast actually. So they went back to that neighborhood to look for, you know, not the specific person, but just for anybody. And there was nobody that was to be found in that area at that park. So I guess the next best thing to hit him where it hurts was, man, it's a little disrespectful, but hey, like I said, they didn't stick to the code, so I guess the homies feel that way too. So I made a video a while back about a dude who caught a couple bodies, Nortenos, and you know, by him, he went to go do his thing. One of them I mentioned in the video was Moco from Capitol Park Locals. So the homies took it upon themselves to go to the gravesite, the tombstone, and you know, things happened. Candles were kicked. Yellow fluids were coming out of bodies on graves and things like that. You know, just things that, like I said, to me, very disrespectful. I don't agree, but I also can't say anything because I know lines were crossed, which is why I say when you cross certain lines, you got to be ready to be, you know, for those lines to be crossed back with you, to your homies, whatever. And I'll play the clip for you guys. So as you can see here, you know, things are being vandalized, things are being disrespected. Again, not sitting here trying to disrespect anybody. I'm just speaking on what happened. Again, I have no idea who did any of this. Don't ask. I don't know. But yeah, things happened. So not only that, but you know, and then I got the whole I have other videos too of the homies mobbing through the area, which I might even add them. I might just add these clips just in case, because I know dudes are like, oh man, it's all internet stuff. Like, no man, people nowadays are, yes, it's on the internet. Don't get me wrong, people are posting things on the internet, but it doesn't mean it just stays on the internet. You know, it is what it is. I'm just putting it out there so people know. Just be safe. Be, you know what I'm saying, cautious. Be do what you got to do, because you know, like I said yesterday, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like I said, this is not even to disrespect anybody. This is not to clown anybody. Even though it is gonna sound like it, right? The homies after that happened were outside last night, yesterday. There's plenty of videos out there of, you know what I'm saying, just certain individuals mobbing around through Norteño neighborhoods, and there was nobody in sight. Literally nobody. And I'm not talking about 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 12 at night, 11 p.m. 10. No, I'm talking about 6 p.m., 5 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. on a Saturday. You know, so to say, oh, you know, like the homies were busy or something, it's like, I don't know, man. You know, I don't know. It didn't seem like people were really out there like that. And I don't know if it's because you know, people knew that lines were crossed, so they were, I don't know if they were like, oh, play it safe, be smooth, or it was more so like, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you. So my thing now is, I don't think that people really understand that their actions have consequences, right? I I I'm putting this out there basically to let it be known, like, look, man, I get it. Those dudes were young, you know what I'm saying? That the dudes that took off on the homie at Blue Jeans, they were young, obviously. Did their thing. They were supposed to do their thing, just not in that fashion, obviously. But um, like I said, you gotta know that there's consequences to every action you take, and those actions are actions that it doesn't necessarily mean you are gonna pay for them, but your friends might, your homies might, God forbid, your family might. Like, you just never know, man. It's a dangerous game out there. It's tricky. It's very tricky. I put it on my story yesterday. I said, well, actually, I was a little more, you know what I'm saying? I had a feeling about, you know, not a feeling, but I felt a way is what I'm trying to say about the video. Like, man, they touched the homie up in front of his mom. That's cold, you know what I'm saying? I felt the way about it, so I posted it and I said, I can't say verbatim what I said, but it was something along the lines of like, they've always said the homies got down like this, but we know, you know, they've always got down like this. And again, clear minded, you know, obviously I can say, yeah, you know, both sides do it. I'm not gonna say that one does it more than the other. Um, but you know, it does happen and it's not cool, but but so I said that, you know, and I also said, you know, just remember this isn't a game. And this wasn't like a threat. It was more so like a message of like, just know this is not a game. Like, you can be out with your mom, you could be out with your dad, you can be out with your brothers, your kids, your family, and things happen. You know what I'm saying? Don't think that just because, you know what I'm saying, you're with your family, you're safe, and you're gonna get that pass. Because yes, for the most part, and I'll even say it, I've gotten passes before. At the flea market, if I was with my family, if I was, you know what I'm saying, at Chuck E. Cheese with my family, whatever, and I got spotted, I'd get a pass. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, I ran up on them. Like, no, I didn't do that either. You know, like I said, it's part of the G code. Part of the G code. Like, you know, if they're with their family, let them push off. Let them do their thing, and you'll catch them whenever you catch them. Now, there's also people that do the most. I have heard stories that my uncles told me, my northerner uncles, where they would say, you know, they went to a liquor store and there was a dude with a blue bandana on his head, a Sharks jersey, blue Cortezes, things like that, you know, with his girl and his kids, like antagonizing Northerners, obviously, you know, like letting them, well, not letting them know, but like thinking like, oh yeah, it's all good. These fools ain't gonna touch me because I'm with my kids. And he got the pass obviously because he was with his kids. So I'm not saying that it's an everyday thing or nothing like that, but I'm just saying, man, there's certain lines that are not meant to be crossed, and I understand there's people that are gonna think different. There's people that are gonna comment and say, well, f that dude and f his mom and f his family, just like they were in my DMs. They were saying the same thing in my DMs. But I'm just saying, man, be smooth, be safe, be careful out there, cause it is getting very hot in San Jose. The Northerners even posted it. I got sent this post a lot today where it says something like, uh, you know, the streets are hot outside. Be careful. Whoop de whoop. Like, you know, and it's understandable because, you know, nobody wants to see their homies go. Nobody wants to see their homies get touched up. Nobody, you know, everybody wants to be up on that scoreboard. But, you know, just play it smooth, man. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know how you guys feel. Is that okay? Was it cold? Was it, you know what I'm saying? Like, just let me know what you guys think. Because I wanted to put it out there just to have that conversation going. But hey, man, if you guys like this video, my fault, that cut off. But if you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you disliked it and you're proud of your homies doing what they did and whatnot, cool. You know what I'm saying? Hit the dislike button. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And if you're not subscribed, man, hit that subscribe button. And like I always say, man, the goal is to make it out the hood, not stay in it. And I'll see you guys on the next one.